Morning, guys. A little bit of a squirrel update. Mr. Lennox. Right from the beginning, you know, we always took him outside so he'd get some sun and, you know, moving around, get familiar with outside. He's not a pet, but, you know, he becomes friendly and, he relies on us to feed him the whole 9 yards. But yesterday, I did that video. It was on Sunday. He was running around and climbing up and down the trees, which he does all the time. But it was weird. But believe it or not, it was weird. You know, squirrels, when they recognize you and socialize with you, they stick their nose up on your face. They touch noses. It's kind of what they do. And it was just weird. He was real fidgety, and you can tell in the video when he's crawling that palm tree, he kept looking across the street and standing on his rear legs and sniffing over there. And when he climbed the rain tree, he went all the way out toward the street. And normally he runs across the roof and comes in the back door and goes back outside and, you know, jumps all over us and has a good time. He just seemed a little preoccupied with what something was going on across the street. So shortly after I took that video, he was playing around and he went out. He never really left the front yard, and he came out there. And went underneath Reed's car and then went across the street into those bushes, which I thought, well, you know, here we go. Here's the start of what he's supposed to do. And then he didn't come back. He just did not come back. And you know, I've hunted a pretty big majority of my life, and I've killed a truck full of squirrel and eaten them. And there's something about him, I would never kill another squirrel. I felt like I got a little too attached to him, and I had a hard night last night. I just wasn't sure. A little cold. He's never spent the night outside, and I put his little cage out on the front porch with some food and stuff that he likes and some water. But if you Stacy saw him this morning in this front yard going into those bushes and then running down that fence line. And then I came out this morning, and if you'll see that oak tree, it's hard on the GoPro, but that oak tree in my neighbor's backyard, there is a nest. There's actually 2 small nests in that tree, and he was at the top of that branch to the far right, and I was shaking his little nut can, and I didn't see him until he moved and he ran down that branch. Definitely him, because he's kind of small, but it was definitely him, and he disappeared behind that the roof line. So he made it out his first night, and he must have smelled a female over there. He's found something he likes in my neighbor's backyard, so he's free now. No more, you know, I just thought because of the weather it was going to be a little bit later on, because we still have some cold days and nights. But we're going to keep his small cage on the front porch. We may even take his big cage out on the front porch, because he's a lot more familiar with it, even though he's familiar with his small cage. And we got his blanket on top, and there's some peanuts and stuff up there. So I'm a lot more relieved, because I was sitting on the front porch watching for him, and there was a big black cat like sitting on top of that fence over there, and I was kind of heartbroken. And I thought maybe he became lunch for that cat or whatever. But we did our job. Our job was to raise him and give him a chance, and give him a chance at life. And hopefully he's found him a girlfriend over there and has moved on. But if he comes back and hangs out with us from time to time, I guess I better get some corn on the squirrel roll and lure him back to the yard. But he's no longer in our trust. He's out on his own, and I hope he has a bunch of babies and moves on. All right, guys, that's the Lennox update. And I think the journey with Mr. Lennox is over for this period of time. See you later.